And he told me he had been involved in an accident. And it was clear to me that he was crying. And I kept him on the phone until I could get to the scene, helping him work his way through it. I said, it's going to be okay. I promise you, I'm on my way. And we talked that time. It took me less than 5 minutes to get to the scene of the accident. And he said, Mom, I've killed someone. And I said, no, Cameron, it's just, at that point, it wasn't even clear to me how the accident what had taken place. I said, no, Cameron, no, you're mistaken. It's going to be okay. And I got to the scene of the accident, and they had Tristan and got to the scene of the accident, and they had Tristan and Cameron and John Barano, in that middle part, the median part of Bayshore. And Tristan was sitting against a tree, crying. John Barano was sitting on the curb with his head in his hands, crying. And Cameron was on his hands and knees, throwing up and crying. I feel responsible for this accident, and I accept full accountability for my actions. If I could, I would step in front of Cameron and I would accept the punishment that you might render. That's how strong I feel about my involvement or my actions that led to this accident, perhaps.
A perspective on this. So I don't want to seem that I don't feel for the Heron family. I do. But their perspective on what they've lost can't compare to two sweet souls that were crossing the street coming home from a party.
This was a crash, not an accident. Please be aware of that. It is critical for you to understand that you've created everlasting pain and depths of sorrow. I can't get the thought out of my head of the entitled monster who killed them. Something happens to me in this room. I remember seeing a chaplain walk out, and I knew she was dead. I can't explain to you the effort and courage it takes to walk into that morgue and see the injuries that you created on her.
Good evening, everyone. Is the state ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is the defendant ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's right. It took me a little bit longer than anticipated, but there was a lot of information to consider. Let me just start by saying that as multiple people have observed, that this is a particularly difficult case because there's really nothing that the court can do that's capable of fixing the harm that has been caused to the victims in this case. And in this case, there wasn't any evidence, and nor does the court believe that there was any specific intent to do harm in this case to the victims. But there was intent to drive at an egregious speed, 102 miles an hour, regardless of the consequences and regardless of who that ended up harming. And then the second part of that, the second component, is the harm caused. And in this case, it's just impossible to have greater harm than the harm that occurred in this case, which was the loss of a mother, loss of a baby, and really the loss of a family as it existed. And the court doesn't find that either the minimum or the maximum is appropriate in this case. I've said it several times, the serious nature of the offense, egregious nature of the conduct, and mostly the harm that's been caused prevent me from putting this as a bottom of the guidelines minimum case. But the departure bases argued by the defendant did provide some reason not to put it at the top of the maximum. And specifically, the court did take into account that the defendant's 18, certainly responsible for his actions, and he's being held accountable for his actions. But the age of 18, the court finds is a mitigating factor and shouldn't put this at a maximum. Also, the complete lack of prior criminal history is something that the court considered as preventing this from being at the top. So having said all that, the court is going really toward the middle between the minimum under the guidelines and the maximum punishment permitted under Florida state law. So on count one, vehicular homicide, the court's going to adjudicate the defendant guilty, sentence him to 9 years in the Florida State Prison. On count two, same charge, the court will adjudicate the defendant guilty, sentence him to 15 years Florida State Prison, and that'll run consecutive to count one, for a total of 24 years Florida State Prison. Count three is a misdemeanor, unlawful racing on a highway, so the court will adjudicate the defendant guilty and sentence him to time served. Give credit for time served, I believe, 2 days. Court will impose mandatory court costs. Mr. Heron, you have given up the right to appeal the determination of your guilt or innocence. You do have 30 days to appeal the sentence of the court. I'll direct the bailiffs to take Mr. Heron into custody.
I have just a statement that I'm going to read on behalf of Cameron Heron.
Yes, sir.
And to begin, I would like to apologize to the family that lost two beautiful souls. The amount of remorse, sorrow, and regret that I feel is unfathomable. But I could not possibly imagine how you feel. I know that nothing can be done to turn back the clock, but I will and would do anything in my power to fix it. I am so sorry for what I did and what I caused. God is with these two beautiful souls, and I have no doubt that they are at peace. I had my last faith before the accident. I had lost, I'm sorry, Judge, just a little hard reading with the mask
Yes, sir.
fogging up a bit. I had lost my faith before the accident, but I brought it back afterwards and was confirmed to the Catholic Church soon thereafter. Along with my family, I will be carrying these two precious lives with me forever and wherever I go. I would also like to apologize to my friends and family for what I put them through, and I could never repay any of them for the support that I have received from them. I always pray for the Reisinger and Ravenel families because your pain must be unconscionable. My life will be dedicated to repaying the cost of the lives that I took, and if given the chance, I will do everything in my power. Good morning. Would you state your name for the record? please, and spell your name for the court reporter.
My name is Cheryl Heron, Herrin.
And you are the mother.
I am Karen and Tristan Heron's mother.
Your family, are you married?
I'm married, and today you call me on behalf of our family, so I'm speaking on behalf of our family. My husband Chris is right there. We've been married.
وحقك كنت احبك كل هواي 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 بكثر ما ام شالي الضيم دنياي وبعد المليح شو نفس المليح وزاد نفس الصباي الوجوه شو كلها عرف بس السوالف غربة يا ابوي منها وعرف